And here we go, Lee Martin leads them off from pole position. Neil Cragg going with them. It's those first two buggies. A slight gap already to Mark Reinhardt as they come over the front side for the first time. Through the big jumps to go through the chicane into the Durango double for lap number 1. It's Lee Martin from the pole, followed by Neil Cragg in second. Getting very sideways, they come around the Orion carousel for the first time down the back straight. It's going to be Lee, followed by Neil. Mark is third. Then we've got the gap opening up. We thought it might be a 3-car breakaway, and that's what we're seeing straight away at the front of this A final.
Dropping down on the infield. It is Lee versus Neil versus Mark. Now these guys break
First and second place are the two British drivers. Neil Cragg chasing down Lee Martin. Down the back straight they go. Through the sweeper into the first section they go. Over the ski jump, the VRC ski jump. Mark Reinhardt closing in slightly on the back of Neil Cragg as they come over the front side now. First, second and third together. Then a bit of a gap back before we got Panish in fourth place. Ronnefeld challenging him, but we're going to stay up front. Let's stay up front with the leaders. Down the back straight comes Lee Martin, our leader. Neil Cragg is in second. He is about a quarter of a second behind him. Mark Reinhardt trying to stay in touch in third place. Panish still there in fourth, a little way back. The gap back to Panish is about 1.5 seconds. Out in front, Lee Martin almost into cruise mode at this stage. He is 3/4 of a second in front of Neil Cragg. Let's drop back and film the battle between Neil Cragg and Mark Reinhardt. Second and third places together, going over the VRC ski jump now, making the left turn onto the front side, over the big double, through the tabletop they go, down through the chicane. Cragg sideways at the exit of the chicane. Reinhardt is right there, side by side. They're trying to find their way past. Reinhardt can't get through that time. Cragg in the lead down the back straight, or Cragg in second place down the back straight. Reinhardt closing right in. As Ronnefeld just gets past Panish up to fourth, we're going to stay with this battle here for second. Cragg and Reinhardt down through the chicane. Both of these guys world champions. Reinhardt kicking up the rear there as he lands through the Durango double. Second and third place, both world championship drivers, world champion drivers. Neil Cragg with a world championship in an off-road class. Mark Reinhardt with many on-road world championships. But getting the job done here in this off-road race in two-wheel drive Euros here at Robin Hood Raceway in the UK. Brought to you thanks to Team Durango, Team Orion, VRC Pro and EFRA. It's Lee Martin out in front, but this is the battle for second place. Neil Cragg versus Mark Reinhardt as a few spots of rain begin to fall. Halfway there now, 2.5 minutes are down, 2.5 minutes to go. Cragg gets the power down, starts to pull a small gap over Reinhardt on that last lap. He is 1.7 behind Lee Martin. Cragg makes a mistake through the chicane. Reinhardt gets just involved, but then nowhere to go there. Cragg maintains the position. Reinhardt still there in third. Cragg rolls over through the carousel. A big mistake there from Neil Cragg. That puts Reinhardt up into second. Ronnefeld is there in third, and Cragg now down to fourth. One small mistake, drops it down to fourth. So second, third and fourth, this is the battle. Side by side, Ronnefeld looking for a way past Reinhardt as they go into the centre hairpin. Through the step up they go, into the flat stuff now, around the Orion carousel and down the back straight. 1 minute 45 to go. Reinhardt followed by Ronnefeld and Cragg. The battle, second, third and fourth. Lee Martin checked out in this one, leading by nearly 5 whole seconds with only 1.5 minutes to go. Lee Martin just needs to keep it rubber side down as we watch this battle here for second place. Mark Reinhardt versus David Ronnefeld and Neil Cragg. Onto the back straight they go one more time. Lee Martin comfortably in the lead. Mark Reinhardt holding down the 2 spot at the moment. Ronnefeld right behind him. In third, Neil Cragg trying to get back on terms. He was up in second place, clipped a pipe and then dropped it right down to the 4th spot, allowing his 2 competitors back through in front of him. As Ronnefeld now in the bright yellow buggy tries to challenge Mark Reinhardt as they go down the back straight with 1 minute left on the race clock. Oh, Ronnefeld throws it all the way, gets it completely wrong, going through that flat section there. That drops him down. So the battle now is going to be picked up by Neil Cragg. Neil straight away closing on the rear wing of Mark Reinhardt. These two battled for second place throughout the early stages of this race. Cragg made a mistake. Mark was up through, and now they're battling once again for second. Down the back straight they go with 40 seconds to go. 40 seconds left. Making the left turn onto the front side now, over the big tabletop. Cragg getting a bit more air than Reinhardt, but Reinhardt gathers it all up, gets underway again, clipping the dot there just at the hairpin in the centre, through the flat stuff now. After the step up they go, round the carousel, down the back straight. Cragg trying to attack Reinhardt with 20 seconds to go, possibly the last lap. They might sneak through for one more lap. Side by side, the battle for second. Cragg is through, up in second. Reinhardt fights back. The 2 cars tangle. They flip over. Ronnefeld is now up through.
on up.
Let's go back and find our leader now. He is on the final lap. Lee Martin onto the front side now, over the big tabletop. We need to go and find Lee Martin, who's in the middle of the track now, coming up to the hairpin. Here he comes through the centre of the track now. Lee Martin by himself on the final lap around the carousel. Here he comes down the back straight. Lee Martin going to take home leg number 1. David Ronnefeld finishes up in 2nd. Mark Reinhard in 3rd. Then Peter Pinish in 4th, followed by Neil Cragg, Wesley Van Helmond in 6th place. You almost made that look easy, or was it more the guys behind you that made it easy?
Yeah, they helped me out a little bit. Yeah, them getting caught in with each other, and then a little bit of drama and stuff was happening, which is perfect for me. If I can stay drama free, that's all I want.
You didn't focus on that at all. You had head down and just get on and drive.
I was looking at the battle, which took my eye off my car a couple of times. I like to see what's going on. I really shouldn't, but I can't help myself. So I was looking at the battle that was going on, and then I thought once it got a bit too out of eye shot, I kind of got on with it.
And here we go, Lee Martin leading them off from pole position. That white and bright orange coloured buggy leads them over the VRC ski jump for the first time. They look like they are pretty much running in grid order. A nice start up front. Lee Martin leads them round for the first lap over the Durango double. Neil Cragg going with him, Mark Reinhard. Those three already having a little bit of a breakaway. Oh, Neil Cragg makes a big mistake rolling over at the cone of justice. He drops from 2nd right down to 10th and last place. So now it's the job of Mark Reinhard to pick up the chase as cars go tumbling at the end of the back straight. It's going to move Neumann up to the 3 spot by the look of it, and Cockrell up to 4th. So Ronnefeld unlucky in that one, and Peter Pinish, those guys dropping down to the back of the field. We saw them fighting up front in leg number 1, but the battle at the front is between Lee Martin and his Yokomo teammate Mark Reinhard. We've heard from them all week so far. Mark Reinhard has been the surprise of this event and works his way up into 2nd place now, and is challenging challenging Lee Martin. The gap was 7/10 for 2nd last time by. It looks like it may have come down ever so slightly this time as the cars slide around the Orion carousel. Down the back straight they go. The gap this time by is at 6/10 of a second, 1/10 coming out of the lead. Mark Reinhard closing in by just 1/10 of a second, but putting the pressure on Lee Martin. They go over the front side now, turning left through the chicane. Into the Durango double they go, through the centre hairpin. To the step up. It's that white and orange number 1 machine of Lee Martin leading the pink, blue and white of Mark Reinhard. Down the back straight they go. The gap down to just a few tenths of a second. Battle for the lead, side by side, nose to tail, over the VRC ski jump. Onto the front side they go. Over the big tabletop. Down through the chicane, making the left turn into the Durango double. To the centre of the track. Through the step up. Through the flat bit now, Martin hanging down the lead. Mark Reinhard runs in 2nd, behind them Neumann is in 3rd, Cockrell is 4th, Honegger is 5th. We're going to focus on the battle for the lead here. These two multi-time champions of various disciplines. Lee Martin definitely the off-road specialist. Mark Reinhard known for his on-road racing, but has really proved everybody this weekend that he can race not only off-road cars but race off-road on the dirt as well. Down the back straight they go. Lee Martin followed by Mark Reinhard. Nose to tail. This is the battle for the lead here in A-final leg number 2. We've reached the halfway marker. Mark Reinhard closes onto the rear wing of Lee Martin as they come to the centre hairpin. These two teammates, they know each other very well. They're great friends off the track, but they are rivals on the track. They're both here to get a win. Down the back straight they go. Mark looks to the inside, but no room there. Lee gets the apex just in time, slams the door shut. Mark gets on the binders, stops the car, parks it right under Lee's rear wing, says, hello, I am here, I am racing you for the lead. I'm not slowing down for my teammates. Lee Martin, Mark Reinhard together through the flat bit one more time, around the carousel onto the back straight. I'm not going to tell you the gaps, you can see the distance between those two cars on the track. Through the infield section they go, over the VRC ski jump, making the left turn onto the front side. Through the big jumps they go, making the left turn into the centre once again. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go, 1:50 to go, 1:50. Down the back straight, through turn number 1, into the infield now, keeping it nice and tight on those pipes, over the ski jumps, kicking up the cars ever so slightly, onto the big jumps, both of them landing it perfectly, through the small corner, in the chicane, onto the front side, into the Durango double, then back to the middle of the circuit, through the Orion carousel now, down the back straight. Lee Martin and Mark Reinhard, the battle of the Yokomos for the win. Both of them powered by much more. Onto the front side once again. These two checked out, completely clear of the rest of the field by 8 seconds. We are going to focus on this battle for the lead, this two-way battle, as Cragg works way back to 3rd, Neumann is 4th, Cockrell is 5th. Down the back straight they go. Lee Martin knows what he's got to do. He's got to win this race to take the championship. Doesn't matter whether he wins by half a second or a lap. All he needs to do is win. A little bit wide from Lee as he comes over the front side. Mark closes up slightly, but not able to do anything about it. Lee Martin, Mark Reinhard with 45 seconds to go. Everybody said, watch Mark Reinhard in the finals. He knows how to race, and he's proven that again here. Taking it to his teammates. Side by side, looks for a move over the top. Doesn't quite make it work, though. Lee Martin gets away unscathed. Mark Reinhard drops back ever so slightly with 30 seconds to go. Lee's got to keep it rubber side down now, not make any mistakes. Mark is going to be on full attack mode now for the final 2 laps of this A final leg number 2. Lee Martin just 2 laps away from a European Championship title, a title he has held in the past, but it went the way of Jörn Neumann in recent years. Lee Martin looking down the barrel of taking it back again with 9 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure if they're going to get through. Yes, they're going to get through and do one more lap. 4 seconds to go. They're going to race one more lap here. The European Championship title being decided right here in front of us. Lee Martin got to hang on for just one more lap. Mark Reinhard rolls it over. Lee Martin in massive clear air now. Lee Martin just got to keep it together through the final few jumps, final few corners. Everybody else is finishing to get to the line. It's a 2-horse battle. Mark Reinhard, the only person who can stop Lee Martin from taking the title. Lee Martin down the back straight takes home the European Championship title. Lee taking the title that he lost a few years ago to Jörn Neumann. I'm going to get up there and have a chat with our new European champion.
Lee Martin. So Romeo, guys, to collect the cars, please. No mechanics.
Lee,
What a race.
Congratulations. Immense pressure there from your teammate.
Yeah, no, bastard.
Sorry about that, everyone, bad language there. But what about that emotion? How is it like, what's it like having Mark Reinhard, the one and only Mark Reinhard, on your rear bumper for 5 minutes solid?
Yeah, I think it was 4 minutes 59 or something, but
Yeah, he made a mistake on that last lap and that gave you a breather sigh of relief, yeah?
it was really tough. You know, with Mark, he's a really, really good racer, so he'll take any chance he can get, and we had such a big gap, he could risk a lot. So I just knew I had to keep him that point something away, and he wouldn't be able to throw it up, and then when he jumped on top of me, it gave me that breathing room for me just to ease it in. And then the last lap he crashed, which I'm pretty happy about.
Well, congratulations. We said it before, but it's nice to say it again. Lee Martin, European champion.
Thank you very much.
The battle for the podium is on. Reinhard gets a great start, but already down on the binders, having to stop the car in time to let Neil Cragg just hit the apex in time. They don't want to collide on the very first corner. 5 drivers in with a shot of being second overall. Who's it going to be? We're going to let this race play out, and then we'll add the points up at the end. Neil Cragg in the yellow and red machine leads them round. Neil Cragg looked so fast in qualifying, but has had a bit of bad luck in those first 2 finals. Allowed Lee Martin to get away, and Mark Reinhard was the person to challenge Lee in the second leg. And now Mark Reinhard challenging Neil Cragg as they come through the chicane. 3-car breakaway. This time it's Ronnefalk in that all fluorescent yellow-green coloured car. In third, Neumann is up to 4th. Wesley Van Helmond into 5th. Our leader though, Neil Cragg over the ski jump, making the left turn on the front side now. Mark Reinhard and David Ronnefalk. That's our top 3. 1 minute quickly down, 4 minutes to go. Reinhard pushing. Oh, Reinhard clapping the curb. They're coming round the final corner. That allows Ronnefalk through to second. And don't forget, it was Ronnefalk who finished second in the first leg. Neil Cragg out in front. Has some breathing space, stretching his legs slightly. The gap 1.6 seconds last time by. Ronnefalk is coming and coming strong though. That bright green number 5. Down the back straight. Reinhard right behind him, tagging Reinhard along with him. 1.7 is the gap. Reinhard up the inside as they come onto the front side. A great move there from Mark Reinhard. Perfect jumping from the on-road specialist. They get into the front side jumps. Sticks it on the landing. And Reinhard back to the 2 spot. Ronnefalk down to 3rd. And Reinhard now the one to pick up the challenge against Neil Cragg. 1.5 is the gap to the leaders. To the leader, Neil Cragg. As we hit the 2 minute marker, 2 down, 3 to go. It's Neil Cragg out in front. Mark Reinhard in second. Down the straight they go. Neil Cragg, Mark Reinhard. David Ronnefalk. The battle now for second once again between Reinhard and Ronnefalk. Through the sweeper they go, into turn 1, through the infield, onto the VRC ski jump. Neil Craig keeping it together at the moment in second spot. Ronnefalk looking for a move to get past Reinhard, can't make anything stick there.
We know how tough that is. On the next straight they go. The lead for Craig over Reinhard, 2.1.
2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. Craig out in front, Reinhard still second, Ronnefalk still there in third. Still the battle we're watching for, second place between Reinhard and Ronnefalk. To the centre hairpin they go, the two cars just tap. No palm, no foul there though. Down the straight they go one more time. Mark Reinhard holding second place. David Ronnefalk trying to get there. Neil Craig in the lead by himself at the moment. They are kind of pegging him though. The gap is around about 2 seconds, so Craig pulling away ever so slightly, but not by much on each lap. Reinhard runs wide at the carousel. Ronnefalk is there, side by side battle for second down the straight. Reinhard just holds on to it as they get into the hairpin. Back to the ski jump they go. Make it left. This time it's Ronnefalk who makes a great move. Tries to pull a Mark Reinhard move, doesn't work out, and now that's Jörn Neumann getting involved, but Neumann then taps the exit of the chicane. So Reinhard still in second, Ronnefalk still third, no change of position, but now Neumann under the rear wing of David Ronnefalk. Reinhard in a little bit of clearer air. Neil Craig, the big winner from that, stretches legs at the front. Gap is now up to nearly 4 seconds as we have only 1 minute to go. This leg looks like it's going the way of Great Britain once again, but this time for Neil Craig, unless anything goes wrong in these final few corners. 40 seconds to go, about 2 laps of racing left here in our two-wheel drive European Championships, brought to you thanks to Team Durango, Team Orion, VRC Pro and EFRA. Our leader is Neil Craig in the number 2, the yellow and red machine down the back straight with 25 seconds to go. Still staying stations solid in second, third and fourth with Reinhard, Ronnefalk and Neumann. Craigie out in front through the chicane into the Durango double. 11 seconds left. He's going to make one more lap, I think, through the flat bit now. He makes it round to an extra lap. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Time has expired. Does Reinhard make it through? No, he doesn't make it through, which means Neil Craig on a lap by himself. Neil Craig going to come through. Going to take the win here in leg number 3. I don't know how that's going to affect the overall standings. Neil Craig on the lap by himself. As soon as I can grab the overall results, I will let you know what they are. Subject to scrutineering, unofficially that win there for Neil Craig did it in a fast enough time that is going to give him second on the podium in front of Mark Reinhard. Ronnefalk finishing up in 4th, Neumann overall 5th, then Van Helmond, Pinnish, Cockrell, Honeygall and O'Loughlin